On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, Ledger delays the release of support for Bitcoin Gold, claiming network launch problems. Bitcoin Core have released a new version of their software, so it's advisable to upgrade to that. And Bitcoin Cash completed its hard fork last night successfully. All of that, and a market roundup and a chart reading on today's episode of the Cryptoverse, so stay right there. Hi there guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I am your host, Chris Coney. So Bitcoin Gold, they have some launch issues according to Ledger hardware wallets. Here's the tweet that is my reference for this. According to Ledger, they recently said they would release support for Bitcoin Gold on the 13th of November. Just so long as the launch of the Bitcoin Gold network went smoothly. Well, while there's no word of any problems on the Bitcoin Gold website or their blog, I did find this article which answers the most popular question of how do you mine Bitcoin Gold? Because the whole idea behind Bitcoin Gold is to bring mining back to truly decentralized so that technically anyone could mine it. So they've made Bitcoin Gold GPU friendly in terms of mining, so you can mine it on a graphics card. Now, I'll link to this article in the video description for today if you want to have a go at mining Bitcoin Gold for yourself. But the first step is to download one of the mining softwares, right? So I have an NVIDIA graphics card, which means I need to download the CUDA miner. And when I did that, two things happened. First thing that happened was Google Chrome complained and said, this is a dangerous file, don't download it. So I overrode that, downloaded it anyway, unzipped the file, then my Bitdefender antivirus also had a hissy fit and identified the file as dangerous. But it didn't specifically say there was a virus or anything, what the name of the virus was. It just identified the file name and said, nah, you can't open that. So I would have had to disable my antivirus in order to sort that out. Now, before I override that, I'm going to do just a bit of research before I just, recklessly do that. I see this happen before. The first time I tried NiceHash, similar thing happened, right? My antivirus identified it as a virus. And I'm not entirely sure why these, like NiceHash and the CUDA miner are on the blacklist. I think NiceHash way back did have some sort of dodgy software in it, and it got a bad reputation a long time ago, and that's kind of lingered, even though now I think it's fine. So any comments and insights about all this with regards to the antivirus not having a good time with these mining softwares, please post them in the comments below. Next story, quick note on Bitcoin Core 0.15.1 is being released, or it has been released. Here it is on Bitcoin Core's website. It's just a minor release because the previous version was a 0.15. So this is 0.15.0.1. And if you run a Bitcoin Core full node, then this new version of the software is out, ready for you to upgrade, which is always advisable to upgrade to the latest version of Bitcoin Core, so you've got all the latest security fixes and so on. This particular issue, as you can see from their release notes, says that it fixes a crashing issue when you were running the graphical user interface. So they've patched that particular problem. So it's always good news. And then also, third story, Bitcoin Cash hard forked last night successfully. If you attended my impromptu live stream, or should we call it robe stream, you'll know this already because we saw it happen in real time, live on the air. It was I was sat there waiting for the final block before Bitcoin Cash launched, and it was taking its sweet time, so I just decided to do a live stream, which lasted about an hour. Anyway, the fork was successful. However, we can't say anything about the effectiveness of the changes yet until we have, in my opinion, a few hundred blocks for it to settle in. So anything we observe right now won't really mean much. So I'm not going to report on any of the numbers even at this time. So in conclusion then, I was trying to figure out why yesterday's episode of the Cryptoverse ended up in the Hall of Fame for one of the most disliked videos that I have ever published. And I asked people on the live stream about this last night, and the general consensus was because I put the words "stop using Bitcoin" in the title of that video. The thing about that though is that it said stop using Bitcoin. It was in quotes, and then it said stop using Bitcoin, Exodus and Gemini, meaning I was quoting those two companies, right? I think many people didn't actually process the quotes and took it as me saying like stop using Bitcoin. That's what this video is about. You know, small details do matter because they can change the meaning in an instant. And I put them in quotes consciously, right? I don't haphazardly just write titles. I did also talk about this on the live stream last night. We YouTubers tread this line between attention-grabbing headlines that bring you in, right? Because that's what we've got to do. I don't want to just be talking to the wall, so I need people to talk to. So you have to get people's attention in the first place. However, if you take that too far, you cross the line and then it is in the territory of clickbait. So clickbait is where the title bears no resemblance to the content. Well, I don't ever claim to have done that, right? The quote, stop using Bitcoin, Exodus and Gemini, I thought that was pretty good. It was this side of the line. It was technically accurate, and I put it in quotes, and I said where it came from. So I don't know how I could have improved on that. I still stand by that title, which is why I haven't changed it. Anyway, let's finish up with the market roundup, beginning with OCFX to see who the winners and losers are for the day. Let's do this real quick. So over to OCFX we go. We have EOS with a 34% gain on the day. EOS is going to feature in the chart reading section in just a moment. Byteball has gained 27%, and we also have Populous up 17%. There's quite a lot of upward movement in the crypto space today. Maybe enthusiasm thanks to Bitcoin Cash successful hard fork and it not nuking Bitcoin or itself. Big losers, we've got IOTA down 8.7%, Dash has corrected down 6.8%, we'll look at that chart in just a mo, and Monacoin, moaning about it again, 5.3% down on the day. So what we'll do now is go over to the charts and we'll have a look at Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Dash, Ethereum, and EOS, because they're the most interesting charts to me on this day. So the Bitcoin Cash chart then against US dollar. Looking at this, Bitcoin Cash has found resistance around the 1400 mark. So if I hold my cursor about there, that seems to be where the resistance point is. It's having a down day so far, trading around 1230, but if it were to turn around, you're looking at 1400 as the next point of resistance to break. Bitcoin, on the other hand, struggling to break 6500. If I zoom in just a touch here, the 6500 mark is in line with the 23% Fibonacci retracement line, and you can see right there that the heads of these candles are above 6500, and it's really struggling to get above that and hold above that. So that's my report on that one. I mean, if it did bust that, then it would be looking at back towards the 7,500 mark if you're interested. Dash holding above 400. Here it is. After Dash's big pump and dump, even though it's dumped right afterwards, it's still maintained about half of those gains, maybe slightly less than half of those gains, pulling right back to 408 right now, but still holding above 400. That's the psychologically significant number that seems to be holding right there. Also some good news for Ethereum. Check this out. Ethereum, we were talking about it being flat and it being stuck below 320, one of its Fibonacci retracement lines, whereas today it has broken out of that and is trading slightly above that with a daily high of, what's that, 300 and, what's the daily high there? I'm going to have to measure it this way. $338. Now this candle is still forming, so it may peep back down below 320 before the day is out. We can see that's happened 2 previous days before, on the 9th of November and the 10th of November. So yeah, I call it a breakout, but it's not confirmed until that day closes above the resistance line. And finally, let's just take a quick look at the EOS chart against the US dollar. EOS is on a tear once again. It's bust the previous resistance line that I drew here, $1.30. It tickled it back here at the beginning of November after its last pump, and now it's broken it. We're looking at 165 as the next stop. Lots of interaction with that price previously. It's also a Fibonacci retracement line. It's a 23%er. If it broke that, interestingly enough, let's see what it would be looking at $2, right? So the next ceiling, 165. Next ceiling above that, $2. Next ceiling above that, $2.38. So EOS on the elevator. So good news for EOS supporters like me. Alright guys, thanks very much for joining me today. If you like this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new around here, click the subscribe button. And also click the little bell icon so YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And if you would like access to my very best material, such as my step-by-step online courses that will take you by the hand from A to Z and teach you things like how to make and save money with Bitcoin, you can check out my website, which is cryptoversity.com. Alright guys, that's all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.